Welcome to Mashal on the Daf. She responds to Luinish Basar Yakashom Labas Yitzchok. We're holding in Basra Daf Tezvav. The Gemara in the end of Udala brings several shittas. When was Iyov? And what era exactly did he live? And then the Gemara brings one shita. Yosef Umir Rabon Kamedi of Shmuel Manachmani Yosef Komar. Iyov lo Yehoya v'lo Nivra. Iyov never existed. He was just a mashal. He was just an example for us to learn from. And the Gemara goes and asks what questions on that. Now this is obviously a very hard shot to accept. The Iyov lo Yehoya v'lo Nivra Mashal Hoya. As the Gemara itself brings the question that the Psukim specify exactly who he was. So what is the meaning of the Mandomer to say that Iyov, who was one of Ishya Tanakh, lo Yehoya v'lo Nivra like Mashal Hoya? So the Ben Yoda here comes and explains that the pshat is that we're talking about here Besoid HaGilgul, the Gilgul Neshama of Iyov. We're saying lo Yehoya v'lo Nivra. He wasn't there before, he never came back before. There was the first time he came back. The Ben Yoda adds, based on what he says before that Iyov was a Gilgul of Terach, the father of Avraham Avinu. So that Gilgul never came to the world before. This was the first time there was the Gilgul. Lo Yehoya wasn't here before. V'lo Nivra, explains the Ben Yoda, means he did not do a bris milah. And the Ben Yoda goes on to say that a person is not complete until he has a bris milah. And that's what he brings in even the Mefarshim, that it says the words Nase Adam, because Baruch Hu says Nase Adam, it means every person who's created, there's Nase, there's two people that create him. One is that Baruch Hu creates him, and then the Moyel completes the creation by doing a bris milah. Iyov was Noilad Mol, he was born Mol, and they never did a Tofas Damila. So it says the Ben Yoda is not considered to be that he's Mol. So he's not fully created. That's what it means, Lo Nivra. He was not fully created in the world. Ela Mashal, he was a Mashal. What does it mean he was a Mashal? So it says the Ben Yoda that a person in his body has the letters Shalom. Shalom are in his body. Where? Shin is in the nose. There's the letter Shin over there. The letter Lamed is when a person picks up his hand. So there's a shape of a Lamed. And the letter Mem is when a person opens his mouth, there's the shape of an endemem. The letter Vav is the bris milah. So a person who has a milah has the word shalom in his body. But someone who doesn't have the bris milah like Iyov is missing the Vav. So he has only the letter Shin Lamed Mem. Shin Lamed Mem is the word Mashal. So says the Ben Yoda, Lo Yehoya, he didn't come to Gilgul. V'lo Nivra, he didn't do bris milah. Rak Mashal Hoya, the letters that appear in his body are Mashal and not Shalom. Then a similar mahalach, but maybe in a more understood, in a way that we can connect better, says the Sefer Shir Moin. Shir Moin was written by the grandson of the Chasam Sofer and is printed in the end of the Torah Mashal ala Torah. And there in Pashas Dvarim, he starts with a similar mahalach. So he starts like this. He brings that Iyov had three friends, and one of them told him the words, "Hen kol eile yifol kel sholish im gover." So he says, he brought down the Sfarim that here they revealed to him the Soid HaGilgul, the fact that a person can come a few times to the world. So it says the Shir Moin, Lo Yehoya v'lo Nivra means Lo Yehoya, he did not come to Gilgul. He was a tzaddik, he didn't come to Gilgul. V'lo Nivra, and he will never come back to Gilgul because he was such a tzaddik, he doesn't have to come back to Gilgul. So there was no Gilgulim by ear. That's Lo Yehoya v'lo Nivra. Now what does it mean, Rak Mashal Hoya? So it says the Shir Moin, Mashal here doesn't mean he did not exist, but it means the reason for his existence is to be a mashal for Am Yisrael. He's a mashal l'doris oilam. And he goes on to say, a lot of times something can actually be in the world, but still a mashal. As we find it in the Teichecha that it says, Va'yiso l'shama l'mashal. And he comes to say, HaKadosh Baruch Hu brought Iyov to the world once to be an example to the world, to see how someone can be very successful. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu can take everything away to challenge him, and then give everything back. And that Mashal is a Musar to the world. So Lo Yehoya v'lo Nivra was no Gilgul before or after. Like Mashal Hoya was here once to teach Musar to the world. Now this Nekuda that Iyov is a Mashal to teach Musar to the world is already brought down in Chazal in Tikkun Zohar Chodosh. And there Chazal say that Iyov Madahomar Kula of a Mashal al Yisrael. The whole story of Iyov is a Mashal Am Yisrael. And the Vilna Gaon there says, that's what the Gemara Bayal says, Rak Mashal Hoya. It was a Mashal, it's a Mashal to Am Yisrael. And Reuven Margalier said the Shari Zohar sends us and this Gemara to the Zohar over there. And Ayin the Yaris Dvash, Benis Aibishitz Chilk Aleph Yushu Dalet, that goes on to speak in length how the whole story of Iyov is the exact story of Am Yisrael. That Iyov in the beginning was super successful, and that was the time of Am Yisrael by Shlomo HaMelech, and everything was perfect. And then he lost everything, and the Satan was trying to challenge him, and that's what the Satan was doing to Am Yisrael, until he lost everything, and that's Am Yisrael going to Golos. And in the end of Iyov, there's Eliyahu ben Barkael that comes to save him, and that's Keneged Eliyahu Novi that comes to save Am Yisrael. So it comes out, the story of Iyov is not that Iyov didn't exist. But what the Gemara tells us, that Mashal means that Iyov is here for a purpose, to teach us Musar, to give us Hadracha in life. Anyone who wants to join the Shomachshava email list, who wants to go, please email shomachshava@gmail.com.